make the strings louder.
I recently asked you guys what is the next project car that you want to see me finish. Obviously, you don't want me to go out and buy a new one, even though I like buying new project cars. I have a lot of old project cars, things that need minor stuff, things that need a ton of work. And the three options were my K-Series all-wheel drive Civic, a 7.3 liter Godzilla powered S550 Mustang, and this Evo Wagon right here. So we actually did a crazy build on this thing where we had a base model Lancer, we had a wrecked Evo, and we smashed them together to make this Evo Wagon, and it was a lot of work. This thing has some minor issues causing it to not run. You can see based upon how much dust is on it. But we're gonna go ahead and pull this thing over to the other side of the shop, get it cleaned up, and then we're gonna try to diagnose what is actually wrong with this thing. We're gonna finish some things with it. At the end of the day, I just wanna drive it. So we moved the Evo over to this side of the shop, got the battery charging on it real quick. Actually, I need to hook that up. One of the things I wanna do is actually hook up the Evo scan to it and see if it'll show me any codes that it currently has, or if it's cranking or doing some weird stuff. It's just not very happy. So it might fire up if I like crank it, but I want to get this thing hooked up to it real quick. So one of the things that we have not done on it is check actually the mechanical timing. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull off this timing cover right here. We'll look at that, put it to TDC, and make sure all the timing marks and everything are lined up, because as of right now, it seems like it's like a mechanical timing. It's just out of time, even though we have done a compression test, it seems okay. Either that or like a crank sensor, cam sensor, or something is bad because it's just not firing at the right time. All right, so we got some good news. Actually, depending on how you look at it, the engine is out of time. So, see right here, that mark is lined up perfectly with that mark right there. And then this mark is actually about 2 teeth off. So you can see this mark is right there and it needs to be right there. So we go 1, 2, 3. What do you think?
Great job. That's a really good thing to find for the issue that we're having, because if it wasn't at a time, we had a whole other list of issues that could have possibly been it. But if this is the fix, this means that this car has been sitting around for a year, sitting out of time.
Because it's 2 teeth out of time. I could have been daily driving it this the whole time. I could have sold the thing.
Could have just retimed it in one afternoon.
This could be a 700 horsepower Evo Wagon.
By the end of the day.
Lambo killer.
By the end of the day.
Lambo killer.
Oh, if we're driving it
drive
by the end of the day. 40% of you guys told me that I needed to work on it, and I did. Not yet. I'll just work on it 30. So first step of getting this timing corrected is obviously we need to figure out which one it is that is off. Is that one or that one? Either way, one of them is off. I need to make sure that the engine is at TDC. We need to move some of these brackets that are holding like the power steering pump and all that stuff in the way. I think we actually have to remove this engine mount too. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the wheel and tire, and then we're essentially just gonna start pulling things off. Figure it out. Ready? theory, should be back in time. I think the way that these things are, there's like a little half moon type of like tensioner thing, and there's 2 pins that go into it, and you essentially set like a pre-tension. If you let that thing go down here, the belt is kind of loose, but then you like rotate it over here, and then the belt is tight, and then you pull the pin, and then it has the hydraulic tension to add and subtract, you know, or basically just add the tension that it needs on there.
So you're just giving it like a guide. Almost.
You basically give it the pre-tension, and it's like an idler tensioner thing that's on like a pulley. We set that. I feel like it wasn't, we didn't tighten it like we just did. Everything seems good now. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the pin for the tensioner, and then I'm actually gonna rotate it around, see what it looks like, go around a couple times. We'll actually throw the spark plugs back in this guy, and it's probably just gonna fire up, and then we can go for a drive, which actually we need to wash it, but if it starts, I don't care about washing. We're driving. Like, we're gonna go for a drive, and then we'll come wash it, and then I'm gonna drive it home tonight.
Ooh.
I'm gonna drive it home. Like, why wouldn't I? It's been sitting for a freaking year, and I'm a goof. And let's rotate it back in. You ready?
Yep. Nice, buddy.
All right, let's see. Is it still in time?
Yep.
Is that in time?
Yep.
Buddy, that's it. It was pretty decently off. Like, when it was in time at the bottom, it was like boop 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 boop. So I'm not gonna put anything else on it. I'm just gonna start it.
Okay.
Up. It's an Evo thing. It'll clear up. So this is what it does. It does do this. It's a kind of an Evo thing. So it hasn't cleared up yet. Normally it like would clear up, have a little thumpy, maybe, you know, I don't know if it's because it's got like 2200cc injectors in it, or if it's like a lifter and like it needs to like pump itself up a little bit, but normally like it would always clear itself up by now. When we were in Connecticut, there's a guy that was working at the shop up there, and he literally had an Evo with 2200cc injectors, and he's like, yeah, that's just kind of what they do. Like, he started it, like same thing, drove it down the road, fine, cleared up. So. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and put this RB25 Neo in it instead. Or, you know what we could do? Put a K-Series in there. That'll solve all of our problems, right?
Yeah, I think a K-Series Evo would be sick.
K-Series Evo. What? Check out what I have.
What do you have?
This guy right here.
Oh, a nice little 4G.
Yeah, this was the one that was in the black car, but I'm gonna steal the, oh my goodness.
You don't have it, do you?
The crank sensor?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's gone. There's no crank sensor in it. Dang it! I thought we had a crank sensor. We have cam sensor right here. So, it is a new day. The last time we worked on this thing, basically 2 days ago, we found this new crank sensor. I put it in, and we went to crank it, and it didn't start. And so I went ahead this morning when I got here, I unplugged it, just plugged in the stock one, put it all back in, and I started it. And what you'll hear right now is a clip of me starting it. Hear that like thump, 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 thump. It ran, it idled for about 5 minutes, and then it essentially turned off, and now crank, no start. Same situation, same everything, just won't run. I was logging some stuff with like the Evo scan. If there's no codes, it might be something mechanical. So like mechanically we lost compression somewhere. The number one thing that we need to check is compression and leak down, because that will eliminate a lot of stuff. And then we know the engine is fine. And then we could figure out sensors and a different ECU and things like that. But so now compression and leak down test. Coils are unplugged, injectors are unplugged. We're gonna crank. We're gonna check out the compressions. Okay. 100 seems a little lower than it should be. Cylinder number 2. All right, go ahead. $100. That's probably not good. All right, here we go. Number 3. Test it. About 103 and a half, 104 maybe. I don't know. Number 4. So I mean, at least they're all even. Honestly, it's been cranking. It's kind of cold. It's been spraying E85 in there, so maybe it washed down a little bit of the cylinders. Leak down now. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the valve cover too. That way we could like visually inspect the valve train, see if rocker things look like they're doing the things that they need to do. So I'm gonna go pull everything off here, and then we could also look at the cam lobes, make sure they're not pressing anything down when we are doing a leak down test. How come you cut out all the clips of me talking shit? There we go. Oh, there. This is our leak down tester. It has a similar fitting that goes into the cylinder, just basically just like the compression tester. What you do is you hook this up to your air compressor. I have the regular set about 100 PSI, and then you adjust this dial right here, basically to where you start at 0. Just connect this then, and now you could see that we have,
that's not what it just did.
It shows 60% leakage. I didn't want to believe that. Let's see now, what is it? So now
it shows 40.
I don't know if we're using this right. So we're set at 0. We've got 5 different readings so far. All right, so we got some new hose.
Get one in there.
Charles is excited about that.
I am. 0.
20%. Still more than we'd like to see. 20%. So about 20%. So I would say it passes leak down. I'd say it passes compression because it's all the same. Nothing's crazy. The little hissing that we're hearing is basically a crankcase, which means it's going past the rings, which nothing is like intake, exhaust, anything crazy like that. So mechanically, it's good, which is, in my book, I would rather have my, expensive, fully built engine that we just put together like 500 miles ago be good, and it be an electronic problem around it. That way, we don't have to take it out. We don't have to do anything, more expensive again. Anyhow, I'm gonna put the valve cover back on it. Maybe we'll crank it over real quick. I just want to look at everything and see that everything's moving, and see if I could squirt myself in the eye with some oil. Okay. Everything looks good, everything's moving, all the lifters look pumped up. So another mechanical thing eliminated, which is good. So now, is it sensor, is it cam sensor, is it crank sensor, is it some weird thing? Gas tank on you, but all drinks on me, buddy. Oh my god.
Are you serious? Is that the entire reason? So you're putting these in, and that's not how they were put in before, right?
I don't think that's how I took them out. We're gonna have to review the clip.
It seems right.
I feel like I had one looped back around or something, maybe that, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna stick it in there. We're gonna see if it starts now.
Time to start it.
I hope it's stupid. I hope this is it.
see if it'll start again.
Why does it do this? It sounded like we were gonna go out and make 700 horsepower on the street right now. Like it was ready to rip, and then now it's... Why?
Okay.
Still sounds like a little rumbly, like it hasn't cleaned up, but now it's restarting.
All I did was like go over to the engine bay and unplug the map sensor, and then plug it back in.
Supposedly they had a bad batch of these like Omni 4 bars. Maybe when it backfired when we did the starting fluid thing on it. I don't know. It runs. I need to put the side of the engine back together. Need to put the timing cover on it, the engine mount, all that stuff, and then we could actually lower this thing down off of the lift, take it for a drive. Maybe that's it. Maybe we need to clean the injectors or something, because it has been sitting a little while. Maybe that could be the reason why it's like a little rumbly. I'm just glad it freaking runs now, because before, like it would start, thump, die, would never start again. Sounded thumpy again, but...
It's moving under its own power for the first time in a year.
Maybe, I don't know when it was. It's been a while.
Oh, it sounds so good.
Is this the first time you rode in it?
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever rode in this car. It sounds so good. This thing moves.
So it's probably like 18 pounds.
Wow.
Like, this thing will be on like 35.
Wow. Oh my. Woo. Wow.
Not bad, huh?
Wow. Oh my gosh. Woo! That is so loud. That wastegate is like piercing.
And it's like not laggy either.
Uh-uh.
Alright boys, so the Evo is back. Obviously we still need to button up some things. I need to charge the AC. We need to put back the interior panels. We need to adjust the suspension so it quits like cutting the tire. It's actually rubbing on the inner fender, like there's like a pinch weld right there. And it's rubbing that, so we gotta fix that. Rear camber. If you guys are not familiar with this car, the whole entire playlist of the build from start to finish is gonna be right here. Obviously we have some things left to do on this thing, so be sure to leave me some comments. What do you think we should do? And do you think this is gonna be my fastest car? Appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next one.